when it comes to the way I see things, I'm always thinking about like an invisible world, physically on the surface. I mean, like even down to the fact that you guys are in this room, and I know that there's all this stuff around me, but I get you. I get you cause I got your voice. I got your voice. I can hear you. But you're just like a floating voice in the room. And like when I go out to places,
insecure text.
that's the same thing. There's all these floating voices and
Brittany turns on
vibrations
her
around
keyboard.
me. And logically, of course, I know there's bodies and people walking, people talking, people communicating, even non-verbal communication.
Close up of Brittany playing
Eye
the keyboard.
winks, eye rolls, like smiles, waves, things of that nature get lost. So I always feel like, dang, I see so much, but then there's so much I can't see.
Camera pans up to her face. Brittany smiling.
I love doing this work.
This
My
is
name
why.
is Brittany Davis.
Brittany
I'm
Davis appears on
27 years
screen.
old, and I'm currently living in Seattle.
A film by James Hughes appears on screen.
Yeah, hot sauce.
The camera is panned at her face and begins panning down to her hands on the keyboard. The camera pans back up to Brittany's face.
I love that line. I wish I knew that Chris Brown song.
The camera is panning back from Brittany's face to the keyboard. The camera pans back up to Brittany's face. A drone shot overhead looking down on the neighborhood. A shot of Brittany's
growing
home.
up for me was really, it was fun.
Cutting back to Brittany on the keyboard.
But I had some rocky experiences. But music was what
The first
really
interview
drove
shot of Brittany Davis.
my courage to get through those things.
Music
I
composer
grew
and
up
producer.
kind of
Appears on screen.
in a kind of a ghetto, and we did what we could with what we had. But I just remember my grandmother's music collection and just going through it and just knowing that one day I'd be able to make music like that.
The shot cuts back to Brittany playing the keyboard.
I could just play all day. Play all day. That's how I play. I don't never play songs. I just play moments. I like
Side
to play
angle of Brittany on the
jumpy,
keyboard.
bumpy moments. But
Speaking
I
to the
love to
camera.
play moments that make you. I like to play moments that shouldn't exist for certain people. So like, if you would think of like a fashion show, but instead of like people modeling what's on the outside, they model what's on the inside. those kind of moments are my favorite moments. Like just feeling that the presence of like, wait, this isn't supposed to be, but it's beautiful because it is. My favorite type of moments. Growing up was kind of
Brittany shakes her head.
There was a lot of challenges, especially due to my disability, being born blind.
Shot cuts back to Brittany sitting on the couch, speaking to the camera.
Going on in my neighborhood. The bullying really started happening when, well, I don't remember a time when it wasn't happening.
A close-up of Brittany playing the keyboard.
I remember just growing up and always knowing that I was different from the other kids, and the real like pushing and shoving and stealing stuff from me started happening when I was maybe 5 or 6. And I can remember just knowing that because of my blindness,
close up of Brittany playing the piano.
But I decided,
panning down to her hands, playing the piano.
If people are going to target me, if people are going to watch me, if people are going to
cutting back to the interview shot,
I was going to do everything that I could and everything possible to overcome that and overshadow that with my music. I always looked at music as kind of a superhero or a superpower in a way. Like
back
if
to the
people
interview
heard
shot.
my music, they won't want to bully me. But I love creating music because it speaks to the depth of, energy that I feel. I'm very sensitive to energies, and I've known that since I was little. And so, being is that I'm so sensitive to different people's vibrations and auras.
Cutting back to
and
Brittany
like
playing
that,
the piano.
everything around me was music, was musical, was about vibrations. And I even remember as the kids would make fun of me, they would say, can I say it? They would say, little ugly blind girl, little ugly blind girl.
Cutting back to the Brittany interview
all I
shot.
would hear was the vibration, just the and I would just hear it in my head, and I would go home and get on my old busted up piano and just play that song, that vibration over and over. And then finally I put it into a song, and it was just like, my people were like, what is that? That's so creepy. There was a couple instances in my life
hallway.
in school when
she begins walking up the stairs.
Because I couldn't use pencils to write.
She's feeling the side of the stairs as she's walking up the stairs towards her studio.
Kids would use the pencils that they had just sharpened to poke me with, and
cutting back to Brittany's interview shot.
Nasty things on my back with. And they would make it seem like I'm just decorating your desk or something, and then it would just be something really, really, really nasty, like kick me or something. And so I did not like pencil sharpeners after a certain point in my primary school year. So I was like, oh no, is that pencil coming from me? Or is that for Miss Harris's worksheet?
He's laughing.
I took the things
cutting to her computer. She's working on
that hurt me and turned them into something
music producing
that
software
I could utilize to actually draw that picture, to actually express that hurt. And my dad, especially,
close up of her computer screen.
That man was a powerhouse. Unfortunately, when I was 12, he was killed. But he was a powerhouse in so many ways, because
cutting back to Brittany's interview.
My earliest memories of just being around him was all about him teaching me about how to listen.
Close up of Brittany's fingers playing the piano.
Not just to people, but to the things and the conversations of life that happen around me, even in the nature, in the natural sense, right? Like the conversation that happens between the wind and the trees and the birds, and how they communicate, and how everything in life is all about communication and synchronicity. And
close up of Brittany's fingers playing the piano.
It's like, whoa, he's right. Everything does work together. And that's when music started becoming a safe place. A place where I could actually settle down and sort things out and process things through music and musicality. It's like my therapy and my superpower at the same time. Tone definitely, and textures, they're very powerful. So tones do translate to all sorts of different things in life. And I can tell you right now, if I'm near a building and I hear a certain tone, I won't go in.
Playing the piano?
Because it tells me, because the vibration in the ground, the vibration, under my feet that goes to the base of my spine, it tells me like that's not safe. And sometimes
cuts back to Brittany's interview
with smells, tones do determine that too. So like if I smell something, I guess I'm kind of extra, what you call it, like a synesthetic, like, but it's like I can smell sounds and hear smells. It all kind of becomes one. I don't know how to describe it. It all becomes one sense to me. All of these different senses, instead of it being 5 senses, is one big sense that works together to create these tonal and textural balances that make so much sense to me.
Back to Brittany playing the piano.
Or maybe it's not a smell that has a good melody. So certain smells,
back to Brittany's interview shot,
produce different melodies, and different melodies can produce different smells.
Back to the piano.
Yeah, I guess
Brittany's in the zone
in
playing
every
the piano.
facet of life, the tones have their proper place, and they have
back to the interview,
translatable data for me. Even more so sometimes than English.
Back to the piano. Brittany's laughing and smiling.
Like if I'm standing upright,
back to the interview,
I can feel the vibration traveling through me as if I'm a cord, and at each end of me is a vibration. And I'm just like I'm almost like a telephone wire transmitting from the body to the spirit, almost this kind of aura of vibration and field information.
Back to Brittany playing the piano.
Brittany is an inspiration to me. We talk more like friends a lot of times instead of
the welcome sign to Brittany's house.
Granddaughter, because
Brittany's grandma in the kitchen.
I guess we understand one another a lot. My name is Martha Bradford. I'm Brittany Davis's grandmother.
Martha Bradford.
I've
Bradford's Brittany Davis's grandmother.
Age of 3, but I was supposed to say I've had her all my life. I mean, all her life, because even before her mom was locked up, I had her and her brother all the time. But then when her mom was incarcerated, I had her full time, and so I think Brittany and her mom reconnected. She ended up moving up to Seattle, Washington with her mom. Hey, she stayed with her mom until she was 19 after she graduated from high school. So, yeah. And then we're back together again.
She's laughing.
It was a little different because it was like I was starting all over again. And then another thing about her being blind, it was a little different too because, I had a lot of doctor's appointments and, having to go to her school a lot, because of, the different programs and teachers meeting, teacher parent meetings, and I had to start doing all this stuff all over again.
In the kitchen.
And
Cuts to a close-up of
Brittany
Brittany
had
playing
had
the
surgery
piano.
too at the age of 5, and she
Brittany's
went
fingers
through
are playing
like
the piano, moving up and down
4
the piano.
surgeries, and that was to build her bone up in her eye socket for her
Cuts
to
back
be
to
able to wear
Martha.
prosthesis. And after that, after they got that bone to open up, they had what is it, ocularis?
Cuts
They
back
had
to
him to
Brittany playing
make
the
up
piano,
her
close-up of her fingers,
prosthesis.
playing the
And,
high keys.
Then she had to keep going back to have them enlarged, make them larger and larger each time, to fill in her eye sockets. So, I mean, I just stayed so busy all the time, even more so than I did with my own kids. And I, raised 4 kids, so yeah, I had to start all over again. But yeah, but the whole thing is that Brittany brought a lot of joy to me because of all she did so much,
Cuts back to Martha.
as a little child, it's like, it was just remarkable of all the different things that she could do.
Close-up of Brittany playing the piano. Cuts to Martha stirring pancake mix in a bowl. Close-up of the bowl being mixed.
She's the chef.
Cuts to a shot.
Oh, she don't want
I
to
just
admit
cooked to
the
my
truth.
taste.
Oh, she don't want to admit the truth.
I cooked to my taste.
Martha's putting oil in her pancakes.
She gonna tell
I
you.
don't know how many people put oil in their pancakes, but
A close-up of the Braille note
This
touch.
is my Braille note touch. This
Brittany's
is
fingers
how
on the
I
Braille
write
note
every
touch.
day. This is how I connect with the world as we know it. So basically, what it is it's a tablet. See here, this flips
Close-up
back,
of the Braille note touch.
and it's a tablet. So
Brittany's fingers on
I
the
have
Braille note
control
touch.
over it like this. I can use my hands on the screen itself. I got YouTube on here.
Using the Braille keyboard.
I got T-Mobile on here.
The equipment is so expensive.
Hands to
Blind
Martha.
equipment is ridiculously expensive, and it's all about capitalism. We can get into that too.
Hands to Brittany.
Netflix, my student aid. This thing costs $7,000 just so I can write and connect to the world
And put notes, take notes.
and take notes.
Hands
So
back to
this
Martha.
is my little device here that I had to
Back to the Braille note
beg
touch.
and plead.
She closes it.
For your sympathy.
I don't mind, cause you mean that much to me. I'm on a loan program right now. I'm still paying for this device.
Be told about the
By the
time you get the paying for it.
And it'll be time for another one.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
the way
what I
it
mean?
was with that other one.
Brittany's grandma walks behind her.
Gone.
I mean, but it costs a lot of money because there's a lot of labor that goes into the upkeep of these devices. And the sad thing is that most people
Brittany's grandma's
who
filling
are
water in the
blind
background.
don't have the opportunity to actually afford the assistive technology that they need. Like, you could go to Best Buy right now and buy a printer, but like if I wanted a printer that prints off Braille code, I have to pay $4,000 just to have it. And I need one right now for school, but I can't get it. Even the services that service the blind won't let me get one unless I go through their program, like go to their independent living classes and all of these different hoops I have to go through just to get something that I need to do an everyday task like everybody else. This technology is not just
Cuts to
a
a
want,
close-up of Brittany.
it's a necessity. Because a person who can't see, the same way that you're able to print documents off and have the content that you need in front of you, it's a necessity for our success as blind individuals and people with visual impairments to have that same access without having to jump through the government's hoops or somebody's hoop just to get it.
The shot cuts to Brittany's studio. Brittany's walking in from the left, reaching for her chair. Sitting down, she opens up her laptop.
Logic Pro.
Brittany reaches to turn on her keyboard.
Track 1 Track 2 classic electric piano group. Track 1 space English 1 chick. Track magnet. Voice over leader.
Cuts to Brittany shaking her head,
Make it wanna twerk. Oh, make it wanna give.
snapping her fingers,
Work out, make it wanna twerk.
feeling the music.
Oh, make you wanna get on the dance floor. Work out, make you wanna twerk. Oh, make you wanna twerk.
Brittany's bopping to the music.
She said make you wanna twerk. I feel like it's an old school vibe. Make you wanna come alive, come alive. I really can't rap, but I ain't gonna lie. When it comes to the beats, then I make it wanna fly. Ain't no way snapping. Ain't no way snapping. Hey, girl ain't rapping. Ain't no way snapping, what? I think that whistle
Brittany's still bopping and shaking her head to the music. We zoom into a close-up of her having a good time.
These are my count beads.
Brittany has
I use
pearls in her
them,
hands.
and
She's
like
showing the
okay,
camera.
like my hand is right here on this part, so it's like I count the beads that
She's
are
grabbing
like,
some
to
beads.
the, like to this end. So I'm like,
Brittany's feeling the beads, counting them.
that was 24 beads that I just counted. This is 24 beads. Sometimes I think about, you know, the amount of beads. Like this amount of beads is like, if what would happen if your life was equivalent to one of these beads? Then we think we so grown up, but just imagine like looking at it from the beads perspective. It's like it's just like this little bitty piece. 24 years, you're like, I'm grown. But you're like, all you really amount to is like this little sprig of beads. Like each year being a bead, you know. Just a little drip in the drop in the ocean of
Brittany's playing with the beads in her hands.
infinite, you know, that is life and evolution and all of that. So sometimes I use it kind of as a tool to kind of be like, okay, this is my blessings for today. I like this happened, this happened, this happened. I count my blessings.
Cuts to Brittany's music producing software. Cuts to Brittany's face with the computer in the background. Hands down to the keyboard and her hands playing. Cuts to another close-up of her playing the keyboard. Brittany's hands are moving down the keyboard.
You know, I'm just like, I'm mimicking the melodies. She's straight soul killer.
Gotta get back with Giftbox Logic Pro Get to it Logic Pro project.
Cuts to a close-up with the computer.
What's the one where I put it?
Logic Pro busy. Busy.
The
Today
computer is not working.
is a day where my
She's trying to
voice
fix her keyboard.
accessibility don't want to work on my. I'm going in swinging. I'm the one.
Cuts to Brittany's grandma
I'm gonna be the
making
one
eggs
swinging.
in the kitchen. Hands to
I'm the
Brittany.
one that's gonna go too far. I always say that. I always knew I wasn't gonna be a traditionalist. I always knew I wasn't gonna be a pretty princess in this game. But you're gonna respect my gangster.
Cuts to Brittany in her studio turning on her speakers. She's sitting down at her other keyboard now, facing the wall. Close-up of Brittany's fingers playing the piano.
When she was a little,
The camera's
little
just
girl,
off
she
to
used
the left
do
of Brittany.
beats, and she used to beat on my furniture.
Cuts to Martha's interview
with
shot,
different
back in the
objects,
kitchen with
and-
her on the couch.
And she would sing with the beats. And this is before I even knew she knew how to play the keyboard. And she would beat.
Cuts to Brittany's
And
face,
she
close-ups,
would
playing
make
the
up
piano.
little songs with it. And I had so many dents in my wood furniture from her beating on them. And even on my bathroom door, she used to beat on the bathroom door and make her little beats and stuff. I thought she was gonna want to play drums instead of the keyboard, because she had a keyboard, but I never pulled it out because I thought she was more interested in playing drums. When she turned 4,
Cuts
she
back
went
to her
into,
playing the keyboard.
K4, and they had a piano in the classroom.
Yes, I first started playing music on the
Cuts to
piano,
Brittany's interview shot.
and they realized when I was in preschool that I could actually play. The people in my family really got wind that I was doing something other than just banging on the keyboard. The reason I started preschool pretty early because there's certain things that are very visual responsive
Her fingers playing the keyboard.
behaviors that they have to teach.
Panning up to
a
her
lot
face.
of blind students, a lot of blind kids.
We're standing on the right
like
side of
chewing
Brittany.
is a visual response. Visual response. They actually taught us how to chew our food. So, because for a person who can't see a person
Cuts to
chewing,
Brittany's
it's like,
hand going through
chew,
the options
chew,
on her
swallow.
keyboard.
But really,
Cuts
it's
back to her
not
interview.
that easy. You can't see, so you don't know how many times they're actually chewing that food up. My teacher told my grandmother after school about that experience for me and how it was for me to learn it. She's like, she really getting these skills down. And
Still
And
going
her
through
teacher said,
options.
Brittany plays Winnie the Pooh for us every day.
Cuts to Martha.
And I'm thinking maybe she just pounding on the keys and singing Winnie the Pooh because she's always sang, Come to find out she was actually playing Winnie the Pooh
Martha looking
on
impressed.
the piano. And that's when we found out she knew how to play the piano, because she plays by ear.
I had a hard time relating actually to the piano for the first couple of years. The only thing I really was relating with was the tones, the notes, the melodies, the vibrations. I knew those notes because they were all around me. They were inside of things. They were on things. They were the smells of things. They were the tastes of things. They were my life. I knew those things, but piano just didn't really come easy until I took the reins
Cuts to
and
Brittany
discovered
playing the
my own
piano.
way of playing.
We're standing directly
To
behind
sit
her.
down with no intention of being anything other than a conduit for vibration and notes to come through, and let those notes come through and just play.
Back to interview shot.
It doesn't matter about the fingerings and C to C and octave to octave, all of those black keys. And the piano teachers would try to teach me. Can
Brittany
you
has
find
her
3
count beads in
sets
her
of,
hand.
Can you find a set of 3 black keys, a set of 2 black keys? And I'm like, yeah, right. This is ridiculous. Look at all these black keys I can press. I can make something beautiful happen with these keys. Why am I worried about where, all the fingers go? I never have been in tune or in line with traditional teachings, and I guess that's part of the reason why
Cuts back to her playing the piano.
I'm so sensitive to certain, musical decisions or musical insinuations.
Cuts back to her interview shot.
Like that stuff where they say practice makes perfect. I'm like, no,
Back to
actually
her
for
playing the
me,
piano.
practice made imperfect. Because it meant that I had to follow a set of rules that weren't there when I heard the music. When I heard the music in the trees, there was no black keys or white keys. When I heard the music in the ocean, it sounded like all of those white keys pressed down. When I heard the keys,
Back to
the
Brittany's
trees, the notes, and everything from my grandmother's voice to my brother's skin texture, There was no rules like that. It felt like a game that somebody had made up for me to mess up on. And it made me not want to play, because it was like, you don't know the real game. You just telling me these rules to mess me up. That's what 4-year-old me thought. And in a way, that stubborn mentality of like, I know what this is still in me.
Brittany's smiling at the camera.
And so I bought
Cuts
her a
back to
little
Martha.
kitty keyboard, because that other keyboard, it was so big and it took batteries. It was a little cheap, big keyboard. But I bought her a little bitty kitty keyboard. I'm old school. I played the Whispers and, the Temptations and Earth, Wind and Fire, all of those groups I play in my car. I had, CDs and would play that in my car. And when we would go back in the house, she
Cuts
would
to a
get on that
close-up
little
of Brittany
kitty
playing the
keyboard and
piano.
be playing the Whispers and stuff on the keyboard. It'd be like, girl, you playing my music.
Brittany's
I
grandma's
mean, at the
laughing.
age of 4. And I knew then she just played by ear. I thought, with Winnie the Pooh that, maybe they was, showing her something, but she actually played by ear. She just been composing music ever since she was 4 years old. She's been composing pieces and stuff.
Cuts back to her playing the piano.
I'll play this one for you.
Brittany's in her studio, playing
Wild
piano,
Wild World.
getting ready to sing.
It's one of everybody's favorites. We get in that zone.
Close-up of her fingers moving around the piano. The camera's following her fingers close-up as she plays the piano.
As I open up my eyes, I realize that I'm not the girl I used to be. And as I open up my ears, I realize that I don't hear what I used to hear. Sometimes it all seems so loud.
We're sitting on the right side of Brittany.
Wish I could turn it all down. And even though I cannot see, doesn't mean I'm in some alternate reality. Yes. You've got to understand that I am human, just like everyone else. Even though I'm blind, don't mean I got a super mind. I'm just me, I'm myself. I am only human. I am only a girl in this loud, loud world. Oh, ribbons sit on the table for when I used to run track. I wish I could go back to those days of innocence.
Panning back down to Brittany playing the piano.
Now that
Close
I'm
up of her
older,
fingers.
it seems like the world is on my shoulders. You saw those words coming. Well, maybe you should come in to my heart and listen. 'Cause I am only human.
Panning back to Brittany's face, singing.
I am only human. just heard a bird outside just a minute ago. And it's
Brittany's
its
smiling,
song was
playing the piano.
A-G, A-G. But that's the notes. But that's not the truth of the bird's song, right? The bird's song's truth is, it has nothing to do with the fact that she's singing the sixth and the fifth in the scale.
Cuts to Brittany's interview
Right?
shot.
She's singing her song because she's calling for something. There's a reason why she's singing that song beyond those truths that they try to force down my throat as a kid. Hey, those truths make sense, but I always felt like y'all trying to mess me up. The kids trying to mess me up. Grown kids is what I called it, because it was like these people are children trying to put numbers and letters on something that never had them in the first place. Not that I was smarter than them, but that they were afraid of what they didn't understand. Because quiet as it's kept, those 12 notes in the scale,
Cuts to a shot
those
outside
notes
with
in the
two
scale
decks
from
on a
A
chair.
to G
Brittany's
are
reaching for
not
the sliding
the
door.
only notes that exist.
She
There's
opens the sliding door,
microtonal.
holding her guitar as she
And
walks out the door.
It's what I call the analog of life. There's analog between those notes that the piano can't reach. And
Brittany's
that's one
reaching
of the
for the
reasons
chair
I love
on the
string
left side of the deck.
instruments so much, is because
Back to Brittany's interview shot.
they can reach some of the analog of life when you bend the strings, when you scrape the strings with the violin bow, when you
Cuts back
pop
outside.
the string or slap the string
Brittany's
on the
playing
bass,
the guitar. On the left side of the
when
screen,
you pinch it for a harmonic sound on the guitar. There's so much expression there. And the funny thing is that a piano has a stringed heart, which is why it sounds so beautiful. But the strings are not free to do what strings are meant to do. It's always interested me. One too many warm summer nights, trying to get it right. Always trying to think ahead. Two little ones to care for. No thought of the pain that you bear for. Hearts broken, still gotta make a way now. No time for us to play now. Mama's gotta go. 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 When too many Mama's gotta go. I know it's easy to say, not to do. You had to care for your babies and you.
Cuts to a close-up of Brittany playing guitar. Cuts back to the wide of her playing guitar on the deck.
When we stop, nobody knows. You've been searching for yourself, and no one else can understand the pain you've been through. So here's what you gotta do.
Cuts to a close-up of Brittany's face, singing with trees in the background. Cuts back to the wide of Brittany playing guitar on the deck. Cuts back to the close-up of her singing with trees in the background. Panning down to the guitar. Close-up of her hands strumming the chords. Cuts back to the wide of her
I
sitting
come
on
out
the deck.
here maybe twice a month. I don't really come out here often because
Cuts to a close-up of her face.
honestly, it just makes me think of the stuff I can't. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to think of the glass half empty. I'm supposed to think of it half full, but
Brittany speaking towards the camera.
when there's half experiences in my life still yet, I find myself coming out here when I can't be in there anymore, when the toxicity's too high. But then because I come out here and I get angry because it's like I want to leave. I don't want to just be here. You know, like I actually want to go to the park or go like on my own intuition, like on my own autonomy. You know what I mean? I want to like leave. And I'm not supposed to do that. I know. I'm just thankful. I'm very thankful to the Lord for the gifts that I do have. But coming out here makes me remember the independent power, the movement power, the autonomy that I don't have. It's beautiful out here. There's trees. There's birds everywhere. It just makes me feel like I'm in a, like, you know, like if you're in prison, right? And you're in that block, I can't even imagine what that's like. My mom being in there like so many hours a day and then being like let out onto the yard and like knowing that fence is around you and you can't get out. Ooh, Lord. That just gave me a chill down my spine to think of that. If I could do anything, you know, to help, you know, then I would do it because I know what it feels like. I'm not in any kind of prison, and let's face it, I'm pretty spoiled. I pretty much got everything
Brittany
any
smiling.
person would want. You know what I'm saying? As far as like on the surface of things, like from the outside looking in, I could tell you that like, man, you know, people don't have cool grandmas making them breakfasts and making sure they eating every day. And you know, I talk to my other blind friends that they don't even have a house. They don't even have a home. You know what I mean? And I've talked to people who aren't blind, who are sighted, that don't have a home. My own relatives don't have homes. You know, and here I am sitting up in this gorgeous house talking about I feel like I'm in a prison. But it do feel like it's really a humbling thing to have to say that, or it's really a vulnerable thing to have to say that I feel like I don't really have the full scope of my freedom. I don't really know what that feels like. I don't know what it feels like to have my own vision of life come to fruition. I don't know what it would be like to actually be in my own house and have my own vision. Even when I did live alone, it was people coming over there doing things the way they do them. they were helping me, but they were still doing things the way they do them. So I was still wondering, like, how would I do things? How would I exist in my own world? I don't know. And is that even possible? Like, I'm almost 30 and I still kind of exist in other people's world. I mean, like, I'm still a part of everything else. You know, and I don't want to disconnect from everybody, but it feels like it's that's what it feels like, actually. It feels like this wistful dream almost. Like, you guys are going to go do what you do tonight. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to probably go to sleep. But you know what I mean? But, like, you're going to go do what you do as you do it. And you know what that is and how it works and how it feels. But there's things that I don't know how to do as I do them. Right? Like, how she cooked that breakfast this morning, I don't know how I would do that. I don't even know where I would start. At 27, I don't know how I would do that. And I have the ability to do this. Play this guitar, play this keyboard, sing this song,
Hands
make
down
this
the guitar.
beat. But I don't even know how to cook eggs and bacon. And I don't feel like I have the space.
Pans back up to Brittany's face.
The proper setup or the proper vision in place to be able to do that with confidence and feel successful in my victory of accomplishing it. That's a funny feeling. That's a funny feeling. That's a really funny feeling. It feels funny. I'm just gonna be honest. It feels wrong. Honestly, it feels wrong. It doesn't feel correct because I would never want. Because I've had people say stuff like this to me, like, if you're gonna live in this house, you gotta. Because I've lived with other people, and they're like, if you live in this house, you have to contribute. I want you to contribute. And so they would like have me doing dishes, but I've never done dishes before because I don't know if I'm getting the dishes clean or not. And if I didn't get the dishes clean, they're like, you didn't clean that right. And it's like, I've never done this. This is so new. Like, it's not that I don't. And I feel bad because it's like, they're like, you have to contribute more to this house than music. You know, you got to do something. You know what I'm saying? And it feels bad. It literally feels unfair and completely imbalanced because the things that I want to do, I can't do. So it makes them think that I don't know, that I expect them to do it. But I wish I didn't have to. I wish I didn't have to ask what was for dinner. Like, okay, I just expect you to cook. Like I was saying last night, like maybe I'll cook for her. You know, I don't know. Oh man, it gets like that. I get deep like that when I come out here. Something about being out here do that to me. Sorry.
Cuts back to Brittany singing in the studio.
Tell me you love me.
A close-up of her face.
Still wanna rise above me. You don't wanna give me a chance just to see who I am. Experience myself. I can't do nothing good with you hovering over me. See, where's my identity? Something's different. I search inside and try to find some peace of mind. I know it's lies, but I just can't get over you. Something's missing. I try to breathe between the lines, but I just don't feel like someday. I don't know what it was, obligation or was it love. Praying to God, 'cause I know it's not okay. And it finds me in the night, ooh, and it judges me despite all the things I try to do right, confused by the grooves of this life. So great. Oh, I try to find some peace of mind. Oh, it's one of those songs where
Hands back down to her fingers, playing the piano. We're standing on the right side of her, looking towards the piano.
something's different. I search inside and try to find some peace of mind. I know it's lies, but I just can't get over you. Something's missing. I try to breathe, I try to read between the lines, but I just don't know if I'm in my right mind. See, I refuse to let you treat me any kind of way, 'cause I've been hurting for so long, and you just don't wanna listen to me. Yeah. And the pain keeps growing strong. Something's missing from this picture. I said something's going wrong, something's in the way, something's going wrong. Whoa, yeah.
Panning back up to Brittany's face.
Something's different. I search inside and try to find some peace of mind. I know it's lies, but I just can't get over you. Something's missing. I try to breathe, I try to read between the lines, but I just don't feel like I'm in my right mind. Something's different. This is me for real, like the real me. I talk all that confidence shit, but really, I'm in pain because the things that make humanity, the human part of life, so lovely, I'm
Cuts
missing.
back to Brittany outside.
I'm missing entire chunks of human experience and ability with a fully able body. The only difference is that it doesn't have eyes. And I'm missing shit. I keep feeling like I'm missing shit. Like, how am I ever supposed to even entertain? Like, I'm talking about like companionship and all of that kind of stuff. Like, how am I ever even supposed to entertain a date? Like, if they gotta walk me around wherever we go on a date. If I can't find the bathroom by myself. We in a restaurant. I've never been here. I don't know where the bathroom is. Could you, just the awkward, awkward. You gonna take her to the bathroom? I'm gonna take you to the bathroom. Hold on. And it's like, I just feel like my scope of ability to touch the life that I desire. Like, that's why I love my music so much, because I feel like it's the only thing I got that makes me able to connect and make sense to everybody. Like, you guys are here right now because of my why, which is music. If I didn't have it, what would you be here for? Like, that's how deep it be. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels. Like, then I ain't got, like, friends in California that's gonna come and just see me and film for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta think about it like that. I'm not trying to diminish your work.
No.
I'm not trying to diminish your work at all, but I'm saying, like, if the Lord have not given me music, this experience will not be happening right now. Period. I'll be sitting up there. What the hell would I be doing? I almost said I'd be sitting up there playing music, but if I didn't have this shit, what would I be doing? What, working some job where I put pieces together on a conveyor belt? Because that's what I was doing for about 2 years. I was working a 9-to-5 job, putting pieces together on a conveyor belt. Something so easy a 5-year-old could do it. And getting paid $16 an hour to sit there for 8 hours a day and put pieces together. And they call that employment. It had nothing to do with music. It had nothing to do with having a future or having a dream or being promoted. They make it look so cool in the movies, being blind. They make it look so cool in the media, being blind, like you're an inspiration. But that shit hurts. Because I even had people there, like, they was like, when I decided to leave that job, I said, man, it don't feel right here. I decided to leave that job. And everybody there was like, you gonna make it. I said, you guys should get out too, man, for real. It was like, we don't have nothing else. You got a future. These are grown motherfuckers in their 50s saying that. 30s and 40s and 50s. Been working for this company for 20 years. Putting together pieces, and I'm not down in their jobs, but this is all they got. And the truth is, if the Lord hadn't given me music, I'd be doing the same damn thing.
Cuts to Brittany playing the piano in her studio. Brittany's making a beat in the studio. Close-up of her fingers playing the beat. Close-up of her laptop with her music software.
I'm just going to be honest. Sometimes I just want to blow up. Like, I just want to, like... I'm not talking about be bad.
Cuts to Brittany's interview shot.
But I do. I'm 27 and... I don't know. Sometimes I just want to mess up. Get in a mosh pit. Get hit in the eye a couple times. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm an exotic bird or something. Just kind of living this existence within a certain social circle to protect myself from being harmed because of my blindness. And I'm used to it. And I like it. And it makes me mad that I like it. It makes me mad that I'm used to it. And I want to let my guards down and let people in, but I don't know how because I don't have enough of that wind power, man. Not willpower, wind power. When are you going to give this codependency up? When are you going to choose yourself over your fear? Those are the things that I think about. And I'm sure other blind, visually impaired, and people with different disabilities can totally relate. Like, I have personality, of course.
Cuts back
but
to
like,
Brittany outside.
I didn't come from no rich family. A lot of people didn't. I don't have a bunch of like airbrush quality looks. A lot of people don't. You know.
Brittany's walking out
I'm
the
disabled.
door with her scarf on towards the piano.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm a female and I am African American.
Brittany's looking for her piano. She feels the piano.
I'm African American and
Brittany sits down.
I come from the place where all African American stereotypes are true. That's the sad part. I come from a place where they are all true.
Brittany flips her scarf around her neck.
I come from a single parent home
Cuts back to the interview shot.
Mother's incarcerated, check. Daddy's dead, check. Gang violence, check. All of it. Different kids, different daddies, check. None of us is by the same guy. That doesn't mean that we're bad. Doesn't mean that we're wrong. But the things that society checks us off with, you can put all of them checks on my list.
Cuts back to
There's
Brittany
drug
playing the
abuse,
piano
there's
outside.
sexual abuse, all of that stuff that they say comes with being in poverty. I got it. But the one thing that I got is music. Why? I don't know. Why I got music and I ain't got... This is why I be thinking like, why I got music and I ain't got shit else to go with it? Why? That don't make no sense. But like, why I got music and I ain't got nothing else to go with it? The only thing that I got is thankfully good luck. I thank God for this luck. This is good luck. This is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a dark side to me for sure. I got a shadow side. That's my shadow side talking. But she's real too. And I respect her views too. Because sometimes I wake up in the morning and that's what I feel. It's like, damn, you don't belong here. The only thing that makes you belong here is your music. And that's a sad thing to say. The 26 years of life. But yeah, that's my vulnerability 101 course.
Cutting back to Brittany outside singing.
I'm sitting out here and I remember talking about my feelings about being able to leave the house.
A close-up of her hands playing the piano.
Like, I feel like I just traveled 1,000,000 miles doing this work because this is going to reach so many people. So many people are going to form opinions about the things I say and the things that I stand for. But
Cutting back to the close-up of Brittany
I feel
outside.
like the fact that I get to express it, I feel like this is the first step to my wind power coming back. I feel like I've always had willpower, but wind power, I just never really had experience with that. The ability to really exercise which direction my life's going to take, even on a daily basis. You know, and this kind of gives me hope that wind power is possible. Straight up.
Fades to black. This is my white text appears on screen.
Where's my identity?
Featuring Brittany Davis. Featuring Martha Bradshaw. A film by James Hughes. Produced by Defcon Media. Music by Brittany Davis. Production assistance by Taylor Jackson. A Defcon original series. DefconMedia.com.